It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Well, it turns out I didn't record a commentary for this one either, which is cool, right? Because we could get a double post commentary for those of you who are fans of the channel that do enjoy the post commentary style to sort of break down a few things. I'm going to leave this portion of the video unedited so we can really break down the mindset here. So what I did was that I knew that area was a little bit of a tough area to loop, so I placed about 3 snares on it just to really play it safe. Did a little bit of a mind game there with the red stain and got the free hit there. We were using rapid to catch it up, get some extra distance. We want to clear out the pallets, but we try to do a little bit of a mind game there to push them back toward that direction, toward where the snare is. Because if we can get them in the snare and have them rotate around the side that we have pre-placed, like so, we'll be able to get them down pretty easily. But we did end up not getting the lunge there, unfortunately. But we did have the right mindset. Maybe could have placed the snares a bit better, but I just don't think I got the lunge angle correct. Either way, we continue to follow through because we want to get rid of as many of these pallets as possible. This particular pallet is very strong, so we want to get rid of that. And then we see somebody else around the area, so we switch. That's the idea. You gotta make sure you keep moving. The gens are gonna fly either way, so as long as you can apply pressure to multiple survivors, you'll be able to do something here. We're also utilizing a mind game at the window there, trying to get them to vault back out toward us. Unfortunately, she just kind of didn't really care. So we do end up losing that, but we are placing down some snares here in the area. If they want to stay, we can use that to our advantage. She does get hindered there, and we do knock them down, and that's exactly you know, the value of the snares. Now I know a lot of people may frown upon it. They do end up getting saved, unfortunately. They may frown upon the snares, but you know, as a Freddy main at this point, like I'm at P42 or so. I did that. The thing that's a shambles for me there. I shouldn't have swung. But anyway, I do know that snares are not the most favored usually. Depending on who you ask, it is a widely debated topic when it comes to playing Freddy. Like, is it better to use pallets or snares? I find both are very fun. And I advise people to use both, depending on what the build calls for. So we were able to get a nice down there. They do end up getting the gen done, so it seems like they're moving pretty fast. But Rapid Brutality is once again showing how well it shines in this situation, which is very good. We're placing these snares sort of like in the placement of sort of like trapper traps in a sense to sort of cut off some rotations, and we're going for the slug strategy, as you can see with this particular match here. So now we go for the lunge. We're pretty much doing what we can here. We are essentially, you know, catching up to them with rapid. We knock them down. It seems like, okay, well, there's 3 people on the ground. We should be able to just immediately win this. We have these snares down. We have the windows pretty much snared up. We're pretty much good to go. We're getting the hit there. It does seem like we do have the advantage. I figure, okay, well, let's go knock them down. But turns out they have a perk here to give the person endurance when they're picked up. So as you can probably assume, they're either running "We're Gonna Live Forever" or something like that. I was trying to wait out the endurance there. I wasn't too sure how long it would have taken, but it seems as if they might be using wait for this, and "We're Gonna Live Forever," right? Pretty interesting stuff off the bat. Now you can see everybody's flying around. They all have endurance now. Now you can probably assume, if you have a keen eye, you may assume, right, that this may or may not be considered a bully squad. So that is going to unfortunately be the case in this instance. So we got a bit of a special one today. So now from here we just wait out the endurance, or we can try to rotate to somebody else. She has a Siptic. So remember, Siptics are usually, I believe, 6 seconds, if not 8. Just to be generous, 8 seconds of endurance, I believe it was. I believe it's 6, I can't remember. So, with that being said, you can see everybody's immediately picking each other up and stuff like that. This one also had endurance. You see, like, 3 different people just had endurance. Count the Jane with the 4th endurance, but we didn't actually swing at that, so that's fine. So from here, we're pretty much trying to take advantage of what we can here. We're placing on our snares. We're trying to sort of allow the rotations to not be as safe, which allows us to well, potentially allows us to get it down, but unfortunately we're not able to do so. Just due to pallet priority and the duration of the hindered and stuff like that when it comes down to these snares. Now, if they were to keep the snares in the game and not do like my idea for at least a Freddy rework, is bring back the old Freddy and then just kind of update it and like kind of combine a few things so that it's not too strong. Obviously, like maybe take off the debuffs and stuff like that for repair speeds in the dream world. But keep the invisibility, keep it so that when they're awake they can't see you but you can't attack them, that kind of thing, and then like use these animation from before and kind of like bring them into the dream world with the little hand thing and the soul. You know, it looks pretty cool. But either way, we just got our first hook at the 3-gen mark. It seems like they're all healing. What I do know is that when they are in deep wound, I am going to be able to allow them to waste about 12 seconds off of the, so they can't be on the gen and stuff like that. Now you don't want to hit too many endurances. That's why with this situation you kind of have to play it smart. I go, okay, we'll M1 the one with the endurance, get them to go mend, then we'll hit somebody else with sloppy butchers so that it'll be a lot harder for them to close in for a save without trading. And now from here we just hit them because they're gonna go be in deep wound. They're gonna have to go mend, basically become Legion for a little bit while we just go ahead and follow through with another survivor who should not have any endurance, give or take. Now, in this, also, another thing that I want to point out, I'm trying to clear out pallets like crazy. Now, I did mess up there. I thought I had enough time to swing, but I think I was a little too delayed on it. I wasn't too sure about that. But we were able to get the down there pretty quickly. Definitely making a lot of mistakes in this match, unfortunately. I will say. Now, what I could have done there was honestly just tried to have like. What the thing is with that thing is like when they vault, it completely like just nullifies your prompt to break the pallet. So I think that what I should have done was like maybe backed up and maybe like dropped the snare down or something like that. But ultimately with the situation, we don't really have much of an anti-loop besides having rapid brutality, which is questionable sometimes depending on the situation. That's why I've still been sort of workshopping what perks work with Snare Freddy. But I do enjoy having haste and stuff like that on to Freddy because it does help out quite a bit. Now, we do know that this one was being healed, so they should not have any endurance. We do go ahead and kick the gen. I figure that I can't leave them on the ground because if they pick up again, that's more endurance. That means both survivors get endurance. I'll have to wait another 10 seconds after that, which then they can use to reach a new rotation, a new tile. And that'll be just a detriment for the chase. We can't have that. So what we're trying to do is find the gens are working on, give those kicks while they're going around trying to heal each other when we have Sloppy Butcher active. We also have leverage kicking into, so that it should allow for like very slow heals. We want everyone injured, so we have Strider, the jump rope add-on in combination, so we have all that information. We want to be able to knock down a couple different survivors at the same time if they're going to stay injured. And then we're going to use our rapid brutality here as a mini agitation to bring us to the basement. And then have two people split up to go for a save. So we can try to buy as much time as possible because they can rush the gens even with all this happening. So, with that being said, what we're trying to do now is we're like, okay, Nancy just got unhooked. We know that it's going to take about 10 seconds for that to be removed. We're trying to be patient here, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to swing immediately and give them any bonuses. If they have made for this, they're also going to get a movement speed boost for being in deep wound. So you don't want to deal with that. So we knock them down that way, right? We know, okay, 10 seconds is up. We can now give them a hook, but they do have decisive strike, unfortunately, so it does allow for another second chance opportunity. So now we're going to go ahead and start to teleport toward the shack. Because we knew that they were going to sort of be in the area, I went down to the basement just to see if they were healing. Chances are they won't, but it is good to have as much healing slowdown. As you can see, they're still in the middle of healing. So we just knock down the Jane here, and then we can immediately just go for the pickup. Because slugging for pressure won't work against a lobby like this, a team like this, so we're just gonna have to hook them wherever we can and just try to break them down slowly. We kind of have to chip away at the defense because you know, gens can still fly at this rate. You know, healing is you know, what we have at our advantage right now because they have to heal each other. They also do have second chance perks. If I slug, you're gonna have endurance on both survivors, so we're gonna have to pick up. You know, we are in a situation where we kind of had to do what we had to do in order to gain as much pressure. And then we can also use the deep wound as a way of slowdown. So from here, I tried to place out some snares to make the rotation a lot weaker, but it is still very strong. Even with like 2-3 snares placed, it can still make the rotation anyway, just because of the length of the car, unfortunately. So we were not able to go around. Now, we know that this one doesn't really want to rotate or loop too much. It seems like that she's trying to bait a chase away from the gens, away from the people healing. So that's how we run back. We lost a gen for it, unfortunately, so we overextended just a smidge, but we still were able to get the pallet out. Right, so now we're going to go ahead and start faking the teleport in the shack in case someone runs out of the shack, and we can get it down from there. But we know that at least 3 survivors are injured. 2 of them are currently trying to heal. 1 of them just got healed, so there's still 2 injuries. We're checking the areas of where we know the gens are being worked on. We did check the gen that just went off, so we figure that the 8 is going to be closing in, trying to body block. We also wasted a pallet. We can really just try to start, you know, because we got the pallet out, we don't have a lot of time. We have to come back and see if they're on the gen. So now we notice, okay, they're on the gen in the shack. We want to use a hit. Use our rapid to catch up. Maybe we can see if we can get the Nancy down again, because we know that at least 1 or 2 of them should be close to death hook. They want to get rid of as many pallets as possible. We know that much. So we got rid of the pallet there as well. Makes the rotation a lot weaker. Now we do have the snares on that window, so that does allow for a little bit of a better situation. But we noticed that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to emote, right? Get ready for this. They're trying to emote so that when they get down, they're gonna fall directly on that spot that they're trying to go to, but also they're trying to recover faster, okay? Because when they're doing that animation and they fall down, it's much faster. They can start recovering sooner. So that in itself is already a play that they're trying to utilize. As you can see, she emoted there again to get another endurance hit. But what I wanted to do was actually have her in deep wound anyway, so I could switch over to somebody else, because she's in deep wound. She can't do anything but run around and then start mending. So then that's when I come in. I go for the gen with the most progress. We start pre-placing some snares. She's trying to bait for chase again. So what I did was I pretended I was chasing her, rotated back towards shack to see who closes in for the save. And as you can hear, probably that they did step over the snare. So then that's when we rotate back in. We were able to get the hit there. Another injury. She seems like she's losing her mind. So that's why we go ahead and fake that. She tries to window tech for some reason. They must not know who they're up against. So we got the down there. We figure, well, we're going to have to go for somebody else. We go ahead and knock down the Nancy as well, because we had placed our snares there initially. And we had to move very fast. I have been using Snare Freddy for quite a bit of time, so that is quite good. And we're able to get them second state. We're going to have to pick up anyway. We could probably go for the basement hook on this one. If they do go for a body block, that means that they have to waste even more time healing. It seems like they're just kind of running around doing nothing, so that's pretty good for me. We can just place them up there toward the back to waste more time. And then we have 2 survivors on death hook, which is really good for me. We're also placing some snares around the area, because they did end up running over all of them to try to activate them so that they are deactivated for other survivors running through. We get another hit on the Maria. What we're trying to do now is just kind of get an idea, figure out, okay, what's the strategy now? Because they're going to have to go for a save. We know that much. So we're just trying to get an eye on all the survivors and kind of get a general idea. We know that this one's also on death hook, so we want to be able to at least give them an M1 and just kind of protect this area, because we know that they're going to lose a teammate very easily if they don't play this right. So because they ended up wasting a lot of time doing that, we hit them as well. And what we're trying to do ultimately is use our speed boost, right, to catch us up to the Jane here, because we know that the Jane is also on death hook. We want to try to eliminate someone, right? So we try to also get rid of the resources. So we lunged through, even though we know it wasn't going to allow for a hit. I still wanted to get rid of the resource so that when we do follow through with rapid brutality or anything like that, it'll allow us to just speed up, and then they will have nothing besides a window for defense. So you can see this gen is almost done. We have everybody waking up or injured or trying to heal themselves. Leverage and Sloppy are definitely allowing for some pretty solid slowdown, because they're going to have to wait out the timers for both the Sloppy and the Leverage. And we also know that the Nancy is on death hook, so we're pretty much, she's, of course, is running straight to that pallet. She doesn't have enough time to emote, and she's trying to teabag there to bait for a chase. So I figured I can take advantage of that, because if there's 2 other survivors running around either trying to heal themselves or do something of that sort, that nature, I can just knock down the Maria here. And I figured, well, they're going to run in for a save, so that's when we use that as an opportunity. Of course, she's taking the free endurance. But that's what I wanted her to do, because she can't touch the gen for 12 seconds. So then that's when I switch over. I'm like, all right, let me hook the Maria then, right? Because we could put them in the basement. The gen and Shack hasn't really been progressed. It seems like the Nancy's like following me around. It could be a breakout play. But we were able to eliminate the Maria, so that means that Maria was death hook. The Nancy was death hook. And also the Jane, I believe, is on death hook as well. So depending on who decides to end up getting down, whoever ends up getting down is pretty much going to be eliminated from the matches, which is already massive for me. And in a situation with a bully squad like this, you do have to play it calm, you do have to play it smart. And I do think... Oh, we didn't even get the hit there, which is strange. But the gen is already about to fly. I figured that if I got in the down, it would be pretty good. And we just placed down a snare on that window just in case they do end up running there again. It will allow for a medium ball, which allows for a very easy down. We also want to get rid of as many resources as possible, but I figure we can't stay too long. Somebody is in deep wound, so they can't really do anything. That means that the Nancy's the one that's probably working on a generator. We had to keep an eye out for that person, because it is 1 gen to go and there's still 3 alive. So if we just have to start getting it down like as soon as possible, but we also want to make sure the gen regresses. The Ada couldn't really do anything for a little while, and that's when we're going ahead and rotating toward the TNL here, sort of trying to check on that gen, because you know that gen has a lot of progress. Nancy's also going in that direction. The gen does go off, unfortunately. So what we do is we go after the Jane, because she is in the middle, basically in the middle of a dead zone, and we just knock them down immediately. But we have to get them. I leave them on the ground with the assumption that they're going to try to attempt to save, because they do all have the perks. We're gonna live forever and made for this, so they're all gonna get endurance for slugs and stuff like that. So that's why we are trying to get the Nancy here, because you know the Nancy's on death hook. I don't remember if the Ada was. But I do know that if the Jane is on death hook, if I'm not mistaken, they're gonna attempt to save her, because they know that she's dead. So if they want to make sure she probably gets out. So I left her on the ground, went for Nancy to apply more pressure that way. We eliminate Nancy. I can rotate back over to where the Jane is, because they just opened the door for whatever reason. I can then just go over there. Whoever goes down, I could just put on the hook, and then that'll allow for some pressure. So we know. You know, it's probably like about 10 seconds. I figure we can just follow through with the with either one of them, right? So I figure, well, we can we just have to make sure we wait it out, because that's about 10 seconds of endurance either way. So I had to wait it out. I was like, you know, let me wait. And then I'm trying to look around to see if I can catch the Ada for the 4K. But I figure, well, we're gonna have to take our hook anyway, because if I wait too long, some way, somehow, they're gonna pick up the Jane and they'll both fly out. So I figure we just at least take our hook, go for the 3K. It turned out she wasn't on death hook. Maybe it turned out the Ada was. You know, even me like editing this, I didn't even realize that. It was chaotic, to say the least. Alright, we're back on Springwood. I think they keep putting Springwood because of the new change, so they're trying to get more people to look at it. Oh, wow. There's a fast volt out there too, bro. What the hell? What the flip? This chick really about to sit there and wait? I am going to fucking rip my eyebrows off and wear them as a mustache. Like, come on, bro. Holy mother of God. Like, I got robbed like twice. I'm like, can I just please play the game? Why am I losing the generator for getting robbed? Oh my lord. The pain. The pain. The pain. No, I'm telling you, that breathing, that Strider, man, that Strider be kicking. Yo, they're still healing? It's working! Let's go! Awesome. Finally, my build works. Finally. Well, we help with the ant. I tried leverage with Sloppy. I went from one side of the map to the other. He was still healing. So I think it's working. I think it's working. 75% slower. Because 50 from leverage, 25 from hemorrhage. I have Sloppy, so hemorrhage, and then it also regresses. So... Oh yeah, the new window, by the way? Wonderful addition for Freddy. Yeah, no, forget what I said about that window earlier, because this... Gens. Ah, damn, they're getting all this pallet priority constantly. I don't know how. So weird. She is teabagging, but she doesn't know how to even be in chase for more than 0.5 seconds. Damn, she got folded. Probably has DS, but doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'll just knock it out now. Why not? Get out of the way. Nah, he ain't saving. He's scared. Yeah, scared out of his mind. That's what I thought. It was a misplay, but I still flexed on him, so it makes it all better. But she's on death hook. It was on death hook anyway. He probably has dead hard too, you know. I should have left him in the locker actually, because he was in deep wound. That would have honestly been the better play. So that did cost me, unfortunately. There's shambles for that. Pallet priorities. Yeah, it's like, it's a little weird, like. Crying out loud. Jake. Jake. Come on, bud. Let's make this memorable, huh? No. Stop fighting it. No. 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 Stop fighting it. Just accept it. That looked freaking awesome.
So we're diving into a post commentary for the second game of the video.
Give me more.
I didn't end up recording any commentary for this gameplay, so I decided to dive in afterwards, and you know, and the editing side, and see, and just kind of drop in a little commentary for you guys. So right off the bat, we are using the red paintbrush, so now we can use our snares from the start of the game, and it really can help a lot with chase. Just to kind of quickly run over the perks real quick, just so you guys can understand sort of the mentality, what the idea of the build is. Leverage, the new leverage, every time you hook a survivor, right? So basically when you hook a survivor, the person that saves will have a decreased healing speed of 50%. Sloppy Butcher will then already has the 25% reduced healing speed from hemorrhage, so you end up having a 75% reduction to healing speed off of the hook, which does allow a counter for the insta heals off of the hooks and the will make it type of meta that you may have seen as of late. At least I've seen a lot of like insta heals a lot with when it comes to the sort of like matches I've been playing. It seems like they can heal very, very fast, especially with a lot of the healing perks that got buffed a couple patches ago, maybe. So, and it seemed as if that it wasn't recorded, but there was an offering for the basement to be shown, I think, or something like that. But then somebody else had the game offering. Now it seemed like this guy with the no mither was trying to sort of use that perk to try to rush out all the gens with, like, you know,
A pretty obnoxious perk, but we were able to allow him to get to second state. We got the free hit on there. I figured the best course of action with the situation is to just kind of stay by the hook. Now, another thing I'm going to point out is Strider and the jump rope add-on, right? So with the jump rope add-on, what ends up happening there is you have Strider that gives you the increased grunts of pain noise, I think about 50%. The add-on gives you another 50%, so you end up getting 100% grunts of pain noise increase in the dream world. And also the added bonus of a 25% increase in sound of the breaths. So keep that in mind, right? Like now we have 3 perks working together, right? So you have Sloppy when they're injured, so they heal slower. They may be injured longer, which gives you more noise and information through the walls and stuff like that, and tracking with your headset. And if they try to unhook somebody, their healing is reduced. I also went with Rapid Brutality because it can like sort of stack with your snares, so that if you have snares placed and then you hit somebody and they fall asleep, they may run into the snare, allowing them to get hindered, and then you gain a speed boost already from Rapid, and then allows you to close the gap a lot sooner. Depending on if you pre-place your snares, it can be a little bit situational, but it can be quite useful. I may try maybe throwing another perk, but it is always good to have at least one chase perk with a build like this. That's why I went with Rapid, because it does kind of work alongside your snares. In situations even like with body blocks, you can use that haste that you gain from the body block that you just swung at to speed up and then catch somebody running into the snare, and allows you to be able to get the down a little bit sooner. Now, another thing that I have been doing recently is if they are in a locker, I will place a snare in front of the locker, so that if they do jump out for the head-on, if they just try to like just jump out in general, it will allow them to be hindered, so they lose a lot more distance than they would as it is, right? Because sometimes they may be trying to use DS or whatever have you, so it is good info to see if they come out of the locker, or just in general, say if like, you know, they do end up getting the head on, they will end up stepping into the snare, allowing for a slightly reduced distance. Now, it may or may not work with decisive, just because of the fact that in order to be, like, when they are hooked, they do wake up. So it does mean you kind of miss out on that. Now here is, it seems like maybe they're trying to bully in some kind of way, so that's why we go ahead and get a hit. You see I switch over to the injured survivor because she's in the snare. You see how much faster I am. With the haste, her hindered, it pretty much allows for sort of like a clown thing. Now the leech is like nodding behind the table, so we're still using the haste from Rapid Brutality, drop the snares down. So she's already getting hindered, and then we immediately could just pick up after downing her with the Rapid and snare combination. So with that being said, like from there, we're able to now pick up, and here is where I knew I was going to be able to get the pickup. It's due to the spacing, the timing of the pickup. I usually try to do that because I'm more used to the timings and stuff like that around that point. It's because of the way I was standing, like the angle I was at, right? Because I was at the very edge, at the furthest away, at the direction they were coming in. So I would have been able to either swing out of range, or would have been able to get the hit on them, which would have allowed me to get the hit there. Now they do end up 4%ing, so that is unfortunate, but we do go after them anyway. But that is the purpose of why I do that. It's a little bit of a riskier play, but when I do pull it off, it is quite hilarious. And it is a little bit of a flex on them, you know what I'm saying, because you do show that you're not afraid of getting saved at all. And now we can just go ahead and use the built-in Mori, one of my favorite additions to the game. Definitely makes it a lot more cinematic. It's very fun. I love this edition. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the video so far. We are going to jump into the next gameplay. But once again, you know, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, like, hit all the YouTube things, and we can keep going with the video.